Hello again and welcome back to London. The sterling has been moving around 2-month lows against the US dollar, and uncertainty remains whether the Bank of England will introduce further QE. I've been speaking to Miles Eakers from Savi Trading about the fortunes of the British pound. So let's start by talking about the sterling. It recently hit a 2-month low against the US dollar. Considering there's all these global headwinds, why is the sterling coming under a little bit of pressure at the moment?
I think it's a culmination of risk sentiment in the market in general. We saw S&P break through some key daily moving averages, coupled with the fact that there are some talk within the Bank of England that maybe they're doing more stimulus. I think generally a lot of people have got long cable, and as a result we see some profit taking and some push down to fresh buying areas.
Yeah, and how important is that attitude by the Bank of England? Because there has been this speculation that the Bank of England is starting to question the success of further QE. So in terms of the pound, how important is that relationship between the Bank of England and further QE?
I think it's one of the variables. I don't think it's the only variable. I think the main focus now is the US economy and whether it can show some more signs of growth. Obviously, if the US does start to grow, then we see risk on appetite, and generally people will start to sell US treasuries, and you see a flight to yield, and as a result, cable, euro, Aussie should all rally in line.
So what about the cable? At the moment, it is below 160. Do you expect it to stay there?
I'm looking more at sterling yen at the moment, with a lot of talk at the moment between the Bank of Japan maybe using more stimulus. I think sterling should outperform yen. At the moment, it looks a bit overbought and looking for retracements to get long. With regard to cable, I'm not entirely sure because I think the dollar's a bit of an interesting one at the moment. We are seeing risk on appetite at the moment. Cable is struggling to get any higher. I think maybe selling against the Aussie and the euro is weighing down on cable.
Yeah, do you see lots of opportunities with the yen? Because it's quite interesting at the moment. You know, in times of risk off, we would normally see the yen climb, but because of all what's going on politically in Japan, it has been relatively weak compared to its past.
Yeah, definitely. If you look at a lot of the daily charts, they're all consolidating in ranges, and we've had some breakouts on CAD yen, on Aussie yen. Sterling yen today set new weekly highs as well, and euro yen seems to be pushing. So I think the opportunity has been missed to get into long and short yen trades as such. But I still think there are buying opportunities further down the line. There's talk of a 250 trillion stimulus package by the Bank of Japan. So if that does come out, you can imagine further Japanese weakness.
Yeah, and what about the situation in the Eurozone? It can't be ignored. There is speculation, it's always speculation, that Greece might get its tranche that it needs of money. Do you expect the euro to get a big bounce off the back of that?
I think so. I think you're already seeing a bit of a correction in the euro. Like, we did break the 127 handle, but we're not with much conviction. Now back above, trading around the 128, and we had some comments earlier on today from Juncker saying that the deal would go through this evening, and then he came out afterwards. So I think the market is waiting for some good news to get a bit of a short squeeze and a bit of a rally. Whether or not we can really push higher is still yet to be seen, but eyeing the 128.80 area is key resistance in the near term. And
what about in the other direction? You said it did break through 127. Does that remain the key support level?
Yeah, I think so. I think below there you start to look at the 124.50, 125 area as a nice area to get long. There's some nice technical patterns for potentially a further push higher up after that. But as you say, it all does depend on what's going on in Greece, and it's a very speculative market at the moment. 1 minute you can be looking to get long the year on the back of good news, and then Spanish and Italian yields start to skyrocket and you think, actually, I shouldn't be on this trade.
Yeah, generally speaking, do you sense that risk sentiment is improving? There does seem to be some movement in terms of the US fiscal cliff.
Yeah, definitely. I think last Friday was quite a key turning point. We saw the S&P obviously break weekly, monthly lows, yearly lows in fact, but comments came out, and as a result markets did take a bit of a relief rally. We are still starting to struggle now in the 1395 area on the S&P. I imagine there's some quite strong selling pressure there, but I think at the moment the attitude is to buy dips. For how long that goes on for, it does depend, because as you're aware, the comments in the US could come out quite negative again.
That's all for the moment, but there's still plenty of quality interviews to come here on Dukascopy TV, so stay tuned. But from London, goodbye for now. Thank you.